Omishar Research and Education Center presents Operations Management Lecture 1. Topics to be covered are Introduction to Operations Management, Nature and Scope of Operations Management. This subject nowadays is called Operations Management. Earlier it used to be called first Production Management, then its name changed to Production and Operations Management, and nowadays it is called Operations Management. When we used to call it Production Management, we used to cover only manufacturing units under this subject. At that time, service industry was not that popular. When service industry also became popular, we used to call it Production and Operations Management. Then we understood that operations involve both manufacturing as well as service industry. Then we dropped production from its name, and nowadays we call it only Operations Management. Your teacher today is Dr. Subhash Kakkar. He is PhD FMS Delhi University. He is also MBA from FMS Delhi University. He is BE Mechanical from Delhi College of Engineering, Delhi University. He is also Six Sigma Master Black Belt, and he is SAP R3 consultant also. He has over 40 years experience of corporate sector and academics. Presently, he is working as director in Omishar Research and Education Center in Delhi, India. Now we'll start the introduction to operations. Production and operations management. It is defined as the term production and operations management refers to the systematic design, direction and control of processes that transform inputs into services and products for internal as well as external customers. In any organization, the core functions are only three, namely operations, marketing and finance. Each one is interdependent. Marketing gets the order for a product or a service. Finance provides the funds. Operations carry out the operations and produce the product to be given to the customer. We do not have any 100% production unit or any 100% service industry. When we talk of any production factory or a manufacturing factory, maybe 80 to 90% operations are of manufacturing, the balance is of service industry. And similarly, if we talk of any service industry, 80 to 90% operations are service and the balance is manufacturing. If we talk of any hospitality business, hotel business, see 80-90% they are providing service to the customers, but they are also manufacturing certain things which are being sold in the hotels. Like food, they manufacture it, they make it, they produce it, and they provide it to the customers. And similarly, in service industry also, and in the same way we have in the manufacturing. We produce the products and we sell it to the customer. 80 to 90% is our manufacturing business, but 10% is services. Say if we produce automobiles, 80-90% is manufacturing, but the 10% is services that we cater it to the customers. So exclusively, we do not have any manufacturing unit or any service industry. Service industry also has manufacturing attached to it, and manufacturing also has some part of services. There are important factors to improve competitiveness in the market. Nowadays, because of mergers and acquisitions, our operations are becoming bigger and bigger, large and large. So we have to take care of certain factors to be competitive in the market. Product design, logistic network, equipment arrangement and layout, strategy, employees, systems, innovation, control, scheduling. All these we have to look into it so that we remain competitive in the market. When we talk of product design, leading companies try to take the customer's view in product development and improvement. The goal is to understand customer needs and to have products that are appealing and that effectively and reliably serve those needs. Logistic network, leading companies recognize that they are part of a supply chain for their customers and maybe their customers and customers. They establish an effective and efficient network to support serving the customer. Equipment, here again, the companies who are doing better in the market, they look into their equipment also. They buy the best equipment so that they are able to produce the products which can match the needs of the customers. If we talk about arrangement and layout, the way that people and equipment are arranged within a facility is an important factor in producing goods or services efficiently. Strategy also plays a vital role in the competitiveness. It is important for a company to evaluate its competitiveness in its strategy. Leading companies take a long-range view of developing markets, customers, and capabilities rather than just working to keep a string of quarterly earnings. When we are talking about strategy, etc., the companies also give an importance to employees which they are employing in the operations. Human resource is considered the major asset that makes a company work. Training and development to improve human resources are an important basis. Then we talk about systems. Leading companies work to reduce WIP by employing just-in-time production in small lot sizes, which usually requires the capability for rapid setup. WIP means work in process. Then people also give importance to innovation, research and development activities in the organization so that they are able to give the best product to the customers. And when all these things are implemented, then the controls are also implemented in the organization. Similarly, scheduling part is also given a lot of importance to remain competitive in the market. These are certain factors which give an edge to any organization. Operations management covers both manufacturing industry as well as service industry. Operations are now becoming bigger and bigger. Acquisitions and mergers are going on, and the operations are large and large, and these cannot be handled manually. So one requires the help of a software. And people are now giving importance to quality, TQM, Total Quality Management, Six Sigma process, capability scale, and BPR, Business Process Reengineering. Then ERP, as I earlier said, is Enterprise Resource Planning. And its implementation, things become easier if we implement ERP software because our operations are becoming big and big. So manually, these cannot be handled. So we must make use of computers and we make use of the software to take care of ERP problems. To organize our business, we use ERP software. SAP is one of them. SAP is the market leader in enterprise resource planning software. Its R3 software allows a company to integrate and better manage most of its business and operations functions. An example will explain how SAP works, and it illustrates how a customer order triggers a chain reaction of events throughout a hypothetical shoe company. Ordering. Let's assume a sales representative from the shoe company takes an order for 1,000 blue tennis shoes from a Brazilian retailer. From his portable PC, the sales representative taps into the R3 sales module back at US headquarters. He checks the price, including any discounts the retailer is eligible for, and looks up the retailer's credit history. Availability is also seen simultaneously. R3's inventory software checks the stock situation and notifies that sales representative that half the order can be filled immediately from a Brazilian warehouse. The remaining shoes in the order will be delivered in 5 days direct from the company's factory in Taiwan. Then the production. R3's manufacturing software schedules the production of the sneakers at the Taiwan factory. Meanwhile, alerting the company's warehouse manager in Brazil to go ahead and ship the 500 shoes to the retailer. An invoice gets printed up in Portuguese. Manpower portion is also seen in the HR module. That's when R3's human resources module identifies a shortage of workers at the Taiwan factory to handle the order and alerts the personnel manager of the need for temporary workers. Purchasing. R3's materials planning module notifies the purchasing manager that it's time to reorder glue dye, rubber, and shoelaces. Then the order tracking is done. The customer logs onto the shoe company's R3 system through the internet and sees that 250 of the 500 shoes coming from Taiwan have been made and dyed. The customer also sees there are 500 red tennis shoes in stock and places a follow-up order on the internet. Then the planning. Based on data from R3's forecasting and financial modules, the CEO sees that colored tennis shoes are not only in lot and hot demand, but are also highly profitable. He decides to add a line of fluorescent footwear in the factory. So this is the way how SAP works and helps us in integrating all the functions in the organization. We are to be in the competition as far as global competition in continuous improvement is concerned. There are two ways to look at the operations of an organization. The first one is an improvement spiral. The other one is a competitive tail spin. Successful competitive maneuvers. If such is the case, gain in market share will be there. When gain in market share is there, need for more capacity will be there. Better plant and equipment will have to be bought. And then better competitive performance will have to be done. That will give us increased market share, and so far the company will progress and keeps on progressing. The moment market share is there, we'll spend money on research and development, we'll improve the capacity, we'll improve the equipment, and we'll have better performance standards in the industry, and that will improve our market share. This is one way of working. The other way is loss of market share. And how does it happen? When people think The profit is there and there is no need for expansion. When they think there is no need for expansion, they operate with older planted equipment, and that will give us poorer relative performance, and further loss of market share will be there because of poorer performance, and then we'll enter into business disaster. There are two different ways of operating the organization. Of course, the first one is better, which says that we should enter into improvement spiral rather than go into competitive tailspin. First one is an improvement spiral, and the second one is a competitive. Scope of operations management: operation strategy, forecasting demand, planning for operations and capacity, materials management, managing independent demand inventory, managing dependent demand items and capacity, scheduling and controlling manufacturing, just-in-time manufacturing, the nature and scheduling of services, scheduling and controlling projects, TQM, total quality management, statistical quality control, Six Sigma, BPR, facility location, layout of facilities, design and manage for technological advantage, job design, and work measurement and compensation, global competition, and continuous improvement. These are some of the items which will be covered in this particular subject, and we'll explain few things which we have already discussed. TQM, total quality management. The objective of TQM program is to build an organization that produces products and services that are considered best in class by its customers. This means that to achieve best in class in quality, every piece of the business must be done right the first time, and every piece of the business must continue to improve. This is the meaning of TQM, which is to be implemented. Then we talked about Six Sigma. Six Sigma, when we talk about Sigma, it gives us the definition of Sigma. The first is, we talk about deviation, which is standard deviation, and the uppercase sigma is always used as summation. But the third sigma, which is talked about in operations management, is a measurement scale for assessing the capacity or capability of a process as far as quality is concerned. In Six Sigma, when we say that a process is working at Six Sigma level, we mean that this process is capable of giving us defectless quality product. And in this process, we allow only to the extent of only 3.4 defects in 1 million. So this is the meaning of Six Sigma. Then we talked about BPR, business process reengineering. The basic is TQM. We start the operations in a factory. We implement TQM. We see its results for 10-15 years along with Six Sigma implementation, and finally we go for BPR, business process reengineering. We study all its processes and see that which process needs complete change, and we change that process through BPR operations, business process. In this subject, the entire subject is divided into 4 modules. In first module, we shall be covering Introduction to Operations Management, Nature and Scope of Operations Management, Historical Evolution of Operations Management, Systems, Perspectives of Operations, Relationship of Operations Management with other functional areas, operations strategy, recent trends in the field of operations management. In second module, we shall be covering product development process, concurrent engineering, tools and approaches in product development, quality function deployment, design for manufacturability, design for assembly, design for quality, mass customization, process selection and facilities layout, determinants of process selection, process product matrix, types of layouts, line balancing, facilities location, work measurement and job design. Third module, we shall be covering demand forecasting, capacity planning, resources planning, aggregate production planning, materials requirement planning, theory of constraints, that is TOC, and synchronous manufacturing, lean management and just-in-time production, supply chain management, inventory planning and control. Fourth module, we shall be devoting to quality management, quality definition, dimensions of quality, cost of quality, continuous improvement, that is Kaizen, ISO 9000 and 14000 series, statistical quality control, variable and attribute, process control, control charts, X bar chart, R chart, P chart, NP and C chart, acceptance sampling, operating characteristic curve, AQL, LTPD, A and B risk, that is alpha and beta risk, total quality management, TQM.